Hello, it is yours truly, Becca. You are here tuned in to Becca in a Bottle. I had to pour a bottle, and for this episode, I had to light a candle because I need to let you guys know this is a trigger warning. I repeat, this is a trigger warning. I'm going to talk about something very sensitive and it might trigger some people, it may not. It might cause you some pain and such. So if you're not ready for it, feel free to just turn off and move forward, because what I'm going to talk about is gonna be painful and hurtful. But this is me opening up about things some people don't talk about. So what we are gonna talk about today is postpartum depression. Now, let me get a sip so that I could get started. I forgot, of course. The drink I'm drinking today is Barefoot Rose. Barefoot Rose. So, where should I bring? You know what? I'll just bring to the first time. So the child I have now is not technically my first pregnancy. My first pregnancy I was 20. Yeah. I was 20 years old. I was with a dude. I thought he was a good dude. And I'll be honest with you guys, I was naive and dumb at the moment because he told me he couldn't have kids, but I didn't put two and two together because he did tell me he had a daughter. But the reason he had a daughter, he said, I guess he took some pills that's supposed to enhance his semen, and that's how he got a daughter. But he told me he was shooting blanks, and I didn't put the math together because, again, like I said, just being dumb and naive. So I was pregnant when I had told him. He did not react positively. He was just upset. He just went crazy. Let me not just say crazy, but okay. So he just turned evil in a way, because first he started asking me who the father was, and then that's when he became abusive. And he started hitting me. Yes, he was hitting me while I was pregnant with his child. He didn't seem to care, because to him it was the devils that had sent a spawn into my womb to get back at him. Then he thought I had teamed up with the mother of his child to trap him. Mind you guys, he didn't have shit going on for him. He didn't have not a damn thing going on for him. So I don't know why he thought I was trying to trap him. I was just trying to get my life together after, what I personally went through. And I knew growing up, abortion is a sin. So I didn't want to abort my child. I just thought, hey, let me just put my child in an adoption and give the kid a chance to live their life. Just I won't be the parent to raise them. And even when I told him that, I kid you not, it was just abuse after abuse nonstop. But I held on, or I should say I tried to hold on. And I guess you could say, why didn't I leave? You guys, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know why I didn't leave. But I know back then the real reason was I didn't have anywhere to go. He was just the only person that was helping me out in that moment. So I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't know who I could trust, because at the time I was just not seeing eye to eye with my own family. Then one day, I don't know what started the argument, but we got in an argument. He started hitting me. Then he was choking me. I kid you not. He was choking me. I was like literally my feet was not touching the floor. That's how high up he had me. And I was just seeing stars. And he literally told me, if I don't get rid of the kid, he will kill me and the kid. And I believed him. And I was just so scared because I was like, what am I going to do? Who can I talk to? Like, who's really going to help me out? So I did something that my family wouldn't forgive me for. And if they hear this, I don't know how they would react. But, I'm in a different mental state from back then. But I ended up having an abortion. And it wasn't a good feeling. I didn't want to, but I didn't want to die either. And I, again, like I said, I didn't leave him because I didn't have anywhere to go. I was in a state that I'm not familiar with. And then, I guess fast forward, I got pregnant again. Why'd you get pregnant again? I was just being a dummy. I don't know. Because, he doesn't use condom. He never pulled out. And, I was stuck. I didn't think any better. I was just stuck with him mentally and such. And I didn't talk to anybody about this because I guess I was just concerned that nobody would help me and I didn't have anywhere to go. And no one, I just don't know what I was thinking. I just knew I was stuck. I didn't have anywhere to go. So, back to, okay, I was pregnant again by the same guy. Same thing, abuse and everything. I had my abortion a second time around. And fast forward, one day I snapped. And, I'll say this. I snapped and I had plans to kill him. But somebody must have been praying over me because I had told someone that I was going to jail and what I was going to go to jail for. And they just managed to convince me out of it. So I packed what I could and left. I left. It was a hard road because he started stalking me and was like calling everybody that I know to come after me, like try to track me down and such. It was not good. But I was fortunate enough to be able to leave the state and just leave that behind me. But I did suffer great depression because I did something I didn't want to do. And, not only was I concerned about like, oh, will I ever have kids again because I had an abortion, but I was mad at myself for not standing up for those kids. They needed a chance to live. They deserved a chance to live. And, I had some, when I did end up telling that story, I had some people tell me like, oh, you could have died during childbirth, or, what if he killed you for real, or just a lot of stuff to try to, I guess, in their way, make me feel better. But I feel like by the end of the day, those kids did not deserve to have their life cut short, And I suffer a great depression. I never got to see a therapist. I guess, try to fix it on my own. Now, fast forward 10 plus years, I'm married. I got pregnant during my pregnancy. It wasn't enjoyable because, I did enjoy it, but then there's also parts of me that didn't enjoy it because I was like, do I deserve this? I wasn't a good parent, a good mother to the first two because I ended their life so soon. And I didn't know if I deserved to be a mother and such. I didn't know if, was this like a cruel punishment or whatever. But, I am very grateful that my child was born healthy. And, I just grew a strong love. And, even during that time, I had to learn to forgive myself and, love myself. Can't be mad forever. Everybody has their own way of healing. So I guess for me, it just took that long for me to heal and forgive myself. And, I'm so sorry. But I suffered my postpartum depression after the birth of my child. May not go into details. Okay, so a family member had done something towards my child, which in return, I felt like they were no longer welcome in my home, and I removed them from my home. And unfortunately, that so the family member is on my husband's side of the family, and that family did not take too well with the decision I had made to protect my child. And unfortunately, too, around the same time, my husband, he was on the fence because, it is his family member, but I am his wife. This is his child. And I guess he just felt like he was stuck in the middle. And I just felt like I didn't have the support that I needed. And what kind of cut me more is some of his other family members on his side of the family are mothers. And I felt like none of them understood where I was coming from. It's like as if like I had one family member decide to not follow me on social media. Um, a couple, two others were calling my phone nonstop, just harassing me and just saying a lot of negative things. And I was at a point where I just felt dark. I was in a very dark place. And not only was it just dark, it was just like sad. No, I was in a dark place. It is a sad place, but I was dark. I was sad. I was dark. I was sad. I was hurt. I was angry. I felt like no one understood me. And I felt alone because, I don't have my mother. I don't have my family close by where I could run off to and just, seek shelter. I was just home alone with my child. And I guess the depression hit me in a way where I almost caused harm to myself. I almost did. Almost. But I thought, if I do that, then who's really going to take care of my child? Who's really going to look out for my child? So I had to pray on it, ask God for forgiveness for thinking of such a thing. But, I ended up finding a therapist, seek therapy. And, it's still a work in progress. And with part of the things that hurt me was my husband has a family member who had told him that she was suffering from depression. And I tried to reach out to her, but we did not communicate much. So I just thought maybe she didn't want to talk about it, or, maybe she's not comfortable with me, okay. But when I was going through my depression and I thought, okay, she's a mother, she understands, I tried to reach out to her. She did not reach out to me at all. She did not communicate with me, didn't even talk to me at all. And to me, I felt like not only was it hurtful, but I felt like in a way she was a hypocrite because, when you was going through a depression, even if we don't hang out as much as stuff, I reached out to you to let you know, like, hey, you have someone who's a woman that understands. I may not understand postpartum depression, but I know depression. I know it's not an easy thing. So I'm here if you need someone to talk to. I reached out to her. Even though, she didn't reach out to me, I reached out to her. But when I was going through it, instead of trying to check if I was okay, if something was wrong, or just be a listening ear, she just removed herself from me. And that's why I feel like she's being a hypocrite, because it's like, you talk about depression for yourself, but then when someone else is going through it and they need just, I guess, someone that's understanding, you just cut them off. And it's sad because I have had heard stories of moms that had committed suicide due to postpartum depression and such. And, I want to say RIP to those moms and such, because sometimes they don't have someone to talk to about what they're going through. And it is a scary thing. It is a sad thing. And I just realized, like, I'm really opening up to you guys, and only one person knows this story. Now you all gonna know this story. But it is, I guess this is also part of why I made this podcast, where it's like, any female, whether you're a mother or not, I want to relate. I want you guys to know, like, hey, you're not alone. I may not relate to everything, but we have relatable stuff. For me, it was hard. It was hard. Even sometimes I get upset with myself for thinking that I should have just left the world and left my child here. I'm mad at myself for thinking that. But at the same time, I have to remember I am human. I am human. I have emotions. I have feelings. And I just went through something. And unfortunately, I don't have the opportunity to have my mother around. No, my mother is not dead, before anybody assumes. It's just, you know what? I am open. My mom is suffering from schizophrenia, and she's not around me. She's not even in the same state as me right at the moment. So, it would be hard, and I do try, but it is hard to try to communicate with her, because sometimes her memories are not the best. So I don't have my mom to go to and run to and talk to about this and try to feel better about it. And, I know you guys will say, what about your dad? But we haven't had the best relationship. And at the same time, I don't know if you can go to a man about postpartum depression. I hear men can suffer from postpartum depression, but I just didn't go to my dad about it. So, and it's just, it is some painful emotions. Let me get but it's not a joke. It hits anybody. It hits you. There's no time frame. It's not maybe, like, postpartum can hit you anytime, anywhere. And the question is like, how do you deal with it? How do you go through it? And for me, it took a while, because I did suffer alone. I didn't talk to my husband about it. I didn't talk to anybody about it and such. And, I did talk to my best friend, but at the same time, I felt like, maybe she doesn't relate because she's not in the same title as me, with me being a mother, and she is not. And I just felt like, no one would understand, no one would get it. And I was just really going through this journey alone. I was in that dark space by myself. And it took a while, but eventually I did seek therapy. And I do talk to the therapist. I told him what's been going on, what's been on my mind and such. And, it is overwhelming, because, even when you're depressed, you don't stop to try to handle it. Sometimes you got to move forward. And with me being a mother, I can't stop. With me going through my depression, I couldn't stop. I had to, suppress that to attend to my child, attend to my household, attend to other stuff, go to work. Well, no, I'm sorry. I was on maternity leave. But when I did go back to work, go to work, attend to other stuff that needs taken care of. I didn't have anyone to come stay with me and help me out while I figure stuff out. And it's just very sad. It's very sad. And I can't reach to every woman in the world, But I wish I could hug all of you. You know, it doesn't matter what you're going through, whether it's depression, personal struggle, financial struggle, or just any negative struggle. I just want to give you a hug, you know? Like I want to give you a hug like I wish someone had given me a hug when I was going through my depression and trying to figure out not only like going through the depression, trying to figure out being a mom, you know, being a wife. And then I thought, even like during my depression, I thought I was on the verge of getting a divorce because, you know, the issue was bad. The issue was very severe to me. So it was just a lot to take on. But you know, it takes time, it takes prayer, and everybody's different. You know, there might be others that don't pray. You know, whatever helps you get into your mental peace, you know, you need to find that. And I guess for me, now I kind of have more, but my main mental peace was my bathroom. Like, what I used to do is, as soon as I put my son down for a nap, I run a hot bath, some bubbles, put some meditation music or spa music, and just soak. Just soak so that I could just soak all that negativity out of my mind, you know. And I used to try to weigh out the pros and cons. Like, you know, is life worth living? You know, am I a good parent? I just did so much. And, you know, at the time my son did take long naps, so you know I had time to think and focus and soak. And then I turned into a hobby of like I turned to my candles, which is another therapeutic thing for me, making candles. And you know, it to me, because when I make my candles, I guess I pour my feelings into that jar to make such a beautiful item that fills a room with such a positive aroma. And depression, but it's not only women, it hits anybody. It just hits anybody. But I'm just sharing my story because I wanted to share it. I wanted to share postpartum and how it affects, how did it affect me. And with that had happened, it just decreased my trust in just anybody. Like, I didn't trust even my own husband. I didn't trust my own husband around my son. I didn't trust any family member around my son. I didn't trust anyone around my son. And I felt like, ah, it's kind of hard to open up about it, but that's just how I felt. Now I'm not saying I'm 100% better. I am still working on it and such, but you know, I came to learn to trust my husband. I do trust some people, not everybody. You can't just leave your kid to anybody and everybody. Doesn't matter who it is, because you know anybody could hurt your child. And that's how I thought. Like, anybody could hurt my child if they have ill intent for me. Where would you hit me the most? And that's through my child. And I didn't want anybody to use my child as an obstacle to cause me pain. Whew. It is it's just a sad, and not everybody could talk about this because I kid you not, I guess I'm opening now because before I couldn't open up because I was concerned about if someone would assume that I'm crazy or think I'm an unfit mother or just think a lot of negative stuff. And it started to open up when people are so quick to just judge you instead of understanding you. And I feel like, I guess the reason I didn't talk about what I was going through at that time was because I felt like no one truly could understand what I was going through. And I guess that kind of energy, my son had sensed that, because I don't know, one day I guess I had put my son down, and I was just doing something, but then I just went into a dark space, and I just felt like a small hand touch me. And when I looked, it was my kid, and he grabbed me. I guess he was trying to pick himself up, and when he did, because I was sitting down, so when he did pick himself up, his little hand touched my face. And mind you, this kid never smiled before, and he just smiled, and I'm getting emotional. It just brought me to tears. I remembered that it had brought me to tears, but I had to laugh so that he didn't know I was being sad. And I felt like at that moment, I realized, like, God is watching over me, or the universe, wherever you want to call it, you guys. But for me, it's God or my guardian angel. Someone had prayed over me. God is watching over me, and understand, like, hey, this is a rough journey, but you are not alone. You are not alone. And I want you guys to know, you are not alone. It is hard to talk to somebody, but you should talk to somebody, someone you can trust or rely on, or just talk to the universe, talk to God. Just find that space that you need to just release those negative thoughts and emotions and feelings, because if you harbor those, it will just be so overwhelming. It just be, oh my goodness, I don't even know if I could have words to explain, but it just won't lead to a good ending for you. So find just and if you can't find someone to talk to, find a hobby, find something therapeutic, find something that makes you happy or helps you feel good in a positive way. Because it's not the end of the world. And the negativity, the feelings, the emotion, it won't be there forever. It's not there to stay forever. It's just a roller coaster that you're currently going through. And that emotional, negative roller coaster will end. It will end. You just have to ride through it. I think this is how I can end this. Yeah, I think I will end this. Yeah, I'm gonna end this, you guys. I hope this could probably help someone that's probably going through a negative trial, a bad trial, and just know that it's not there to stay. It's just an obstacle that you gotta just go through. But there will be a light at the end of that tunnel, at the end of that road. There will be something positive waiting for you. And with that, have a good one, you guys.